You are about to enter a world of imagination. A world where battles are fought on hex maps and grids, whether virtually or in person. Dice are cast, swords are clashed, and even the hardest situations can be resolved with a little ingenuity and a lot of luck. With dice in hand and a heart full of adventure, I'd like to welcome you to this polyhedral paradise. What is up, everybody? Happy Friday night. Welcome to a special live stream. Usually I go on Thursdays when I do go. But tonight I got a couple things to say and a couple very, very interesting things coming up. And I thought it'd be appropriate to do something a little special on a Friday. So hopefully everybody's doing well out there. Callisto, thank you so much for being able to make it. Tonight is going to be the first night we're officially making an effort to stream multi-stream. That's right. We're doing Facebook via the Polyhedral Paradise page, and we are doing YouTube. So wherever you're at, let me know where you're at. Let me know if you're in Facebook, or let me know if you're in YouTube. Star Wars Santa, hey, how's it going, Binky? That's my daughter. Well, my daughter's not Binky. Binky's my wife, but anyway, anyway. She's using my wife's profile because she's under the age of 18 and she cannot comment on YouTube's. Switch over to Facebook. But anyway, if anybody is in Facebook, just say hello. Let me know if everything's coming in 5x5, as they like to say in the military. But anyway, love you too, Dritz. Love you too, baby. Paul, you gonna like what's going on tonight? Yeah. So anyway, we got two big announcements. Some people may know this stuff, some people may not, but I'm going to make it official tonight. And then, if we have time, we're gonna open up the phone lines. I'm gonna put the Zoom link up in chat, and then you guys can call in and we can talk about some of the things related to the announcements, because I think you guys are gonna have some questions. Okay, Santa is on YouTube, cool. So I think you guys are going to have some questions once I drop the announcements. So I don't know. So all right. I mean, do you want A first or you want B first? So I got two big ones. You know what? Let's do this. I'm going to go with the thing that is most prescient. So, and this is involving something that's going to be going on next week. So, as you guys know, we've kind of split the channel a little bit. Oh, I guess channel announcements. So, as you guys know, we've kind of split the channel a little bit. We've gone off in the direction with Polyhedral Paradise, doing the lore videos. And that stuff is actually doing really good, by the way. If you guys haven't seen any of the lore videos, go over and check out Polyhedral Paradise. Not Polyhedral Paradise Live. I'm actually outpacing my subs and views. The latest video we dropped has 138 views, and I only have 35 subs on that channel. So, it's actually doing really well. The other video has 136 views. So they're doing really good in as far as views go. But the newest video we're working on is the video for the unfamiliar, or the ghost cat. Now, the ghost cat was from a supplement called Creatures of the Night Ghosts from 2nd edition Ravenloft. Which was interesting about that is that they put out the stat block for the creature, but then they went ahead and they gave you a single adventure for it. So you had this creature that you could play around with and put in your games, but they also gave you a singular adventure. So it was pretty cool. But anyway, that's going to be the next video coming up on the lore channel. But anyway, so since we separated the lore and the live channel, I got. There's a lot more stuff I want to do with the live channel. I want to have a lot more interviews with people. I want to bring on other creators, have discussions in regards to Dungeons and Dragons, which kind of leads me into the announcement that I have. So, a couple months ago at this point, I saw this blurb that said Dungeons and Dragons was going to be coming to television. They're actually developing a Dungeons & Dragons TV series. Now, it's going to be developed for E1, which is the production company for Hasbro. Now, if people don't know how this works, what they do is you have the parent company, and they have an IP. And they say, hey, we want to develop this series or whatever. So rather than put it on a platform, they have their own production company, and then they say, hey, you go produce this thing, and we'll have the pilot, or we'll have the show, and then we'll shop it around to a platform like Netflix, or like YouTube, or CBS, or whatever. So E1 has greenlit a pilot for a Dungeons & Dragons series, and they actually want to create a whole expanded universe, because Dungeons & Dragons has gotten real big, which is kind of crazy to me, because when I was a kid, I never thought it would reach this levels. I mean, it was big when I was a kid, don't get me wrong, because obviously, you had the cartoon, you had comics, you had all kinds of stuff, but nowadays it's actually bigger than it used to be. But anyway, I'm getting off track here. Excuse me while I sip my water. It's important to stay hydrated. So E1 announced that they've greenlit a Dungeons & Dragons TV series, and I was like, that's great, that's awesome. Fantasy is all the rage. You got The Witcher, you have the Rings of Power, which Callisto, by the way, Callisto is huge with Lord of the Rings lore, and Callisto and I at some point are going to get together, and we're going to have a lore stream where this is like ADD the stream tonight. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Anyway, I'll save that for later. But anyway, they announced that they're going to have a Dungeons & Dragons TV series, and that a man named Thurber is going to be heading the series. Now, you guys may know him, so I'm gonna switch screens now, and let's take a look at his wiki. Hold on a second while I switch the screens. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I pulled up Thurber's Wikipedia page here. Now you guys may know his work, but may not know his name. Has anybody ever heard of a movie called Dodgeball? Little flick called Dodgeball? Yeah. So Thurber wrote and directed Dodgeball. It was actually the first movie he did. Right around the same time he did that, he did a little short called Terry Tate, Office Linebacker. Now, raise your hand in chat if you ever heard of that. If you're not a big sports fan, you may not have heard it, but it played on ESPN, where it was the story of this guy, Terry Tate, where if you did not perform in the office, he would tackle you and wreck you and run amok, and it was fantastic. I enjoyed Terry Tate, Office Linebacker, a lot. So then he went on to do a film that was not a comedy, called The Mysteries of Pittsburgh. It was one of his favorite books. There's a long story behind it, but anyway, he got that adapted for screen. But then his what people would consider his real breakout hit was We Are the Millers, which is he didn't write that, but he did direct it, and that was starring Jennifer Aniston and Jason Sudeikis. And he was going to replace Edgar Wright to direct Ant-Man, which is an interesting MCU connection, but he turned down the job. So then he went on to write and direct Central Intelligence with Dwayne Johnson, otherwise known as The Rock, and Kevin Hart, otherwise known as my favorite pick for Wolverine in the MCU. I mean, tell me that would not be perfect. I mean, Wolverine, he would be a great Wolverine in the MCU. Fight me on that. Fight me, he would. And Kevin, if you're watching, you should push for that, man. I'd be behind you 110%. But anyway, okay, so he did Central Intelligence. Then went on to film Skyscraper, again with The Rock. You notice a theme here. Rock loves this guy, and this guy loves The Rock. He doesn't love To Rock. He loves The Rock. Well, I mean, he might love To Rock. I don't know. I don't know. He might. So anyway, so he's got a thing with The Rock. And then lately, the latest thing he's done, and what you might notice him from, if anybody has a Netflix subscription, which I believe all of us do around here, a little movie called Red Notice. Red Notice is a spy. I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna try to BS my way through that. I don't know what it is. I mean, it looks fun, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, Rawson, if you're watching, I'll watch it. I promise. I just haven't seen it yet. But anyway, so he went on to do only the most watched movie on Netflix, American version, Red Notice. He's now in developing the film adaptation of The Division, which is a which is a video game. And that's going to be starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Jessica Chastain. And then the very last thing here on this stark white picture that I have up, which is actually his Wikipedia page, he's entertainment company E1 announced that Thurber will be writing and producing pilot for upcoming Dungeons and Dragons TV series. Now that's what piqued my interest. I was like, all right. Now we know that there is a Dungeons and Dragons movie coming out, and that none other than Captain Kirk, Chris Pine himself, is going to be starring in that, along with British guy. Help me out here. Hugh Grant. He got a from somebody back in the day. Yeah, Hugh Grant. He's going to be in it as well. We still don't have a whole lot of details about what's going to be going on in that movie, but that's for another time. So he's going to be developing the TV series. Whether it's connected or not, I highly doubt it. But anyway, so that brings me, now that we're kind of all up to speed here, right? Kind of all up to speed, right? Oops. No, that's something else. Here we go. So, yeah. So we're kind of... Trinity, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. So anyway, which brings us to this. Okay. So he was on Twitter and talking about his getting added to the Dungeons and Dragons show. Let me scroll down here. I had this all set up, but I lost it. Okay, there's more stuff about Red Notice. Red Notice Funko Pops. Red Notice is really big. Really big. Kind of feel like I should have watched it. But anyway, more Red Notice. Here we go. Anyway, he talked about how he was excited to have gotten the job for Dungeons & Dragons. I was like, that's great. This guy's probably going to do a good job. He's good with the comedy and good with the action, which I think encapsulates what D&D should be. Comedy, action, fun. So anyway, just for the heck of it, I went and tweeted him. I was like, I don't know if you guys can see this up here. Let me know if you can see it or not. I said, Ross and Thurber, man, congratulations on spearheading the D&D show. As a longtime player and a D&D YouTuber, I would love the chance to talk to you about what your plans are. I know it's a long shot, but you miss 100% of the bugbears you don't cast magic missile at, metaphorically speaking. Right? And he responded, you had me at magic missile. Sounds fun, DM me. You had me at magic missile. Sounds fun, DM me. I was like, all right. Excuse me? You just directed The Rock a lot. And Gal Gadot and Ryan Reynolds. I was like, you're kidding, right? You're kidding. And I was like, fantastic. So I'm not going to show you the DMs. I'm not. But suffice it to say, and here is the part where we get to what is actually being announced tonight. And I held off as long as possible because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't some geek YouTuber's wet dream. I'm going to cut the music here. This Wednesday, March 23rd at 12 p.m. Pacific time, I have a sit-down interview with Ross and Thurber. We've gone back and forth. I've talked to his people. And I actually got the green light to talk about this tonight. I get to have a one-on-one interview with him live on camera. And it's like the biggest thing I've ever done. I am super freaking excited. I am so grateful to him for sitting down with me. He is such a nice guy. And you guys here at Polyhedra Paradise Live are going to be able to get the inside scoop. As far as I can tell, he has not done a single interview about the Dungeons and Dragons show. So, unless one happens between now and Wednesday, I will have an exclusive. And that was something I was not expecting at all from a little tweet. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is, I've kind of been beating around the bush about it. Anybody who's been hanging out in the in Discord, I have mentioned it a little bit. I've actually opened up a segment in our Discord. The link to our Discord is in the description. You can go there. I set up a page. I don't know how long. I'm going to talk to him again this week. before we do the interview. I'm not sure exactly how long I'm going to have, and I have an extensive list of questions, but if anybody has anything that they may want to ask, be it about D&D or about his career or about The Rock's underwear size, which I think are probably tiny. God, I hope he's not watching. Then go to our Discord, and there's a channel that's set up that's questions for a Ross and Thurber interview. And then ask, and then if I have some time and I have can get a bunch of the other questions answered that I have, then I'll ask them. So you guys know what I plan on doing with the interview is I'm going to play the unedited version live on the show as if I were doing a live interview. But then on the lore channel, I'm going to do an extended version where I really dig deep into his family and a lot of the things he's done, because I think that for the most part, people who would watch the show are really going to be interested in what he has to say with Dungeons & Dragons, but I don't really think they care about his camera angles on We Are the Miller. But this questions I would like to ask, but I'm going to save those questions for sort of a longer form interview that I'm going to release on the lore channel. But anyway, that's one. So what do you guys think about that? Callisto says that's insane. Binky says so amazingly awesome. Yes, I've kind of been, like guardedly excited about it for the past month, maybe, just because at any moment, because I've had some experiences with Hollywood, I have, and nothing is ever said and done until it's said and done. But I just double checked before I said anything. I was like, hey, Rawson, is it okay if I mention it? And he was like, yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So I was like, okay. But like I said, I don't want to show you guys the DMs because it's private stuff. But yeah, man, I'm super excited, and hopefully I don't blow it. You can get up there and just clam up. But that's the benefit of. Thank you, Mom. I appreciate it. Margaret Present Mom's here. Hi, Mom. So. Yeah, hopefully I don't blow it, because the last interview that I did an interview with Glenn Welch, and I'm still getting over that. Glenn wrote the Player's Guide to Mystara, and did a great interview with him. And I've mentioned this before on the stream, I think. And then I got done, and I went back and checked, and my entire audio was trashed. It was completely unusable. Yeah, completely unusable. It was about 6 months before I spoke to him again after that, and I felt terrible. But anyway, we're not going to repeat any of those mistakes this time, because we learn from our mistakes. What do we do if we don't learn from our mistakes? That's what we have to do. But anyway, so that is announcement number one out of the way. If you guys have any questions that you want to send to Ross and Thurber, get them to me via the Discord, and I will ask them. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen Rawson in the Men's Health article where he's like shirtless and oiled, ooh, check it out. Give The Rock a run for his money, man. But anyway, yeah, Mom, Central Intelligence, huh? Central Intelligence. Mom loves Central Intelligence movie. But anyway, so that's one. Let me go back to the screen here. Yeah. So that's big. That's big for me. I got a lot of questions because there's so many different ways you can do a D&D TV show. Like, do you keep it the failing with D&D sometimes, a lot of times, is people tend to make movies that are very generic fantasy but slap a D&D name on it. So there's certain things you have to do in order to get the Dungeons & Dragons feel to come through into a show. It's very specific. You can't just slap generic fantasy on it. There's certain elements that have to be in there. You almost have to dig directly into Dungeons & Dragons lore and make a movie or a show about specific characters that exist in lore, specific events, specific locations, or you have to go completely meta, where you make a show about people playing Dungeons and Dragons, and you have the contingent of players around the table, which makes up a small portion of the show, and you have those people interacting in the game world, where you can get the in-jokes and all the things that you have happen at the table where players not show up, and then you have NPCs that all have the same face. There's all kinds of things you can do to make a Dungeons and Dragons show interesting, but the one thing you can't do is just take generic fantasy, slap Dungeons and Dragons on it, and call it good. So I'll be really interested into talking to him, see what his plans are, depending on what he can tell me. With him working on the division and everything, I wonder how far along this actually is. Maybe I'll get a chance to sneak in some of my ideas. Maybe. But anyway, moving on to the next thing we have tonight. By the way, in a couple minutes, I'm going to post the link, the Zoom link, if anybody wants to call in tonight. I'm going to copy the invite link here. So I'm going to post that right now at the top of the chat. You know what? I'm not going to post that yet because I don't want you guys calling in just yet. I'll wait till the next announcement. So anyway, last year around this time for my birthday, what we did was we ran a 24-hour live stream to benefit Take This. Take This is a organization that focuses on mental health in the gaming community, and man, it's something that I all think we could do with a little bit of. I've had my struggles this year. I know a lot of us have. So it was a really good fundraiser. It was clunky. It did not go off without a hitch. I had so many problems with the actual stream, but everybody had such a good time, and we pulled it all together towards the end of the whole thing. Callista was there, Cap was there, Star Wars Santa was there. There's so many people that were there that I would spend. Yes, it has been a year already. Yeah, it was for my birthday last year. There's so many people there that I would spend the next 15-20 minutes going over everybody who was there and what they contributed. But it's past my birthday, but what I want to announce is we are ready for round 2. And I have set it up as of today. Officially, Take This Fundraiser 22 is now on the schedule. It is going to be taking place April 15th and 16th. It is Easter weekend. So it's going to be Easter weekend. We're going to start Friday at 5 o'clock, and we're going to go through Saturday at 7 o'clock. The fundraiser page has been set up. It's on Tiltify. I am going to link the fundraiser page in the chat. What I want to do now is a couple people have expressed interest in helping us out. It's going to be a little bit different than it was last year. Yeah. So the date. Let's talk about the date first thing. I have set it for the 15th and 16th, just because I have some extra time that weekend. But the thing is, if I get a lot of feedback saying that weekend is not good for people, I realize it's a holiday weekend, and that's a double-edged sword. People have some extra time, but people also have family stuff. Now, I'm not asking for a lot of people to be involved, but if that weekend doesn't work for a lot of people, I will push it back to the following weekend. So it's either the 15th or the 16th or the following weekend. But right now we are set for it won't be earlier than that. Right now we are set for the 15th and the 16th. Now what I want to do with this week's, I've talked to some people already about possible sponsorships for the show. We have set up, right now we set up our goal for $600. That is $300. It's basically double what our initial goal was last year. But last year, thanks to everybody's effort and the great time that we had, we actually came in at $1,000. Which was which obviously was way more than we thought we were going to. But I don't want to go too far afield. You know what I mean? So we're gonna go with 600 to start, and then see where we can go from there. But I know I have talked to Santa, who is interested in helping out. We have a page open on our Discord, which is now the setup for the new 24-hour live stream. So I want to talk to a whole bunch of content creators. If you guys want to be involved, we can figure out some sort of way how exactly that's going to work. But we're not going to do a single campaign throughout the whole event this time around. I'm going to have lots of little mini games. I'm going to get everybody who's coming to watch, I want to get them involved. I want to have some little competitions, some fun trivia games. I want to have some panels. I want to have people want to talk about, other creators want to talk about their content. I want it to be an extremely interactive event, almost like a mini con. And I'm actually talking to a couple people who are in Europe, so it's a little bit of a different time zone. So to maybe do some performances in the small hours, because it gets hard. It gets hard around 2-3 o'clock in the morning. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to do. So within the next 2 weeks, I'm going to nail down a lot of that stuff, and then I'm going to have sort of a schedule and the way the whole live stream is going to work laid out. And I really encourage everybody to come, to hang out, to participate. We're going to give out prizes, and I'm talking to the local game store about donating some things. So there's going to be a lot to do. There's going to be a lot to give out, and there's going to be a lot to receive. And let me see something here. Sorry. Thank you, Santa. It is a decent beard. There's a lot of grays here, but so let me give you guys a link to the Tiltify campaign. So back here, let me link this up here. Copy. So there we go. Oh, that's a Zoom link. Sorry. So the page is, like I said, we're going to live stream it on Facebook and on YouTube. So we're gonna double stream it. This is that's the campaign for Facebook. I'm sorry, that's the campaign from Tiltify, and I'm going to link the campaign pages for the Facebook and for YouTube up as soon as possible. I'll leave them in the description. So what do you guys think? I'm really excited about what's going to be going on the next month. There's a lot of goodness going around, and I encourage anybody, whether you're in the D&D or not, if you're a creator, if you're not a creator, if you guys want to be involved in some way, please do. I'll keep looking into the Discord. Yeah, keep an eye on the Discord link, and I will let you guys know as I sort of get a little bit further along in the process. Yo, Lunga. Lunga, I don't know if you just saw it. The two big announcements. We're doing another live stream event Easter weekend, 15th and 16th, and I've got an interview this Wednesday with Ross and Thurber about D&D on TV. So so check out the link in the Discord if you guys want to participate. So yes, sounds like a good time. Coming to charity and celebrations. Yes, it is. So thank you guys so much for the support. And I know I kind of went dark for a little bit, but thank you for sticking with me and being here now. And it's going to be one heck of a year. So the next thing I want to talk about, if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And if you guys want to call up and talk, I'm going to open up the phone lines. I'll see if I can get my token groupies involved somehow. Yes, most definitely. I want to have a panel about lore and the importance of lore. So I'm going to put the link for Zoom link. I'm going to put the Zoom link in the chat now. I'm going to pin that to the top. If anybody wants to call in, the Zoom link will be up there, and we can chit chat, because it's kind of a big day. I'll turn the music down a little bit. So, last thing I want to talk about tonight. Did anybody out there see the fact that Dungeons & Dragons has announced that they are going Greyhawk? Dragonlance. I'm sorry, I said Greyhawk. they're going Dragonlance. with their new UA. Santa says, thanks for what you do, Jason. Great to see you again. I got to dip out, but I'm promoting the charity stream already. Have a great weekend. Thank you, Santa. Santa's going to be a part of what we do, I know, in some form or fashion. And I'll talk to you soon, Santa. I really appreciate you. Santa's a good friend and a better person, and I'm happy to know him. Thank you so much. So, Dungeons & Dragons is going back to Dragonlance. And along with Dragonlance comes one of the much maligned characters of the past called the Kendra. Now, the Kendra have a bit of a bad reputation over the years. They're picture Hobbit kleptomaniacs. At least that's how most people play them. I don't know how much of an experience you had with the Kinder, but most of my experiences have been pretty much Hobbit kleptomaniacs. Look, if that's what my character would do, had a face, it would be the Kinder. All right. I know. Like it says Kendra, God's no trash talking the Kendra. I'm not trash talking him. A lot of people are though. Which is why I kind of wanted to read. Yes, Tasseltoff Burrfoot. Yes, the original Kendra from Dragon Magazine number. Oh, I can't remember what it was. But a lot of people are trashing him, and they get a bad rap. But I read this really succinct article on the Kendra and what makes them not kleptomaniacs and what makes them really, really interesting. So I kind of want to go over this, and this is from the Dungeon Master's Quandary. And it says, let's talk about the Kendra. you tell Captain, I say, hey, Ball, good to see you. Tell Cap, I said, get his scrawny butt in here. And you can tell him I said scrawny. Anyway, so let's talk about the Kendra. Honestly, if someone hasn't read the classic Dragonlance source material and doesn't understand why they're a race unique to the world of Krynn, they won't understand that they are not meant to be mean, disruptive, and mean-spirited, unthinking thieves. Which they're not. They're rather completely unaware, naive, childlike, accidental, subconscious kleptomaniacs. The Kendra are actually quite good-natured and would never do something intentionally to harm their party members by stealing from them, and infuriating trait of ending up with either people's possessions. It's because honestly they have no concept of individual ownership of property. Kendra are quite offended when they get accused of being called a thief. This is all according to the original canon source in the book material, and undoubtedly it'll be completely rewritten for 5th edition with the intention of removing some of the more problematic aspects of the character race. Kendra vaguely resemble halflings in stature, but they take on more sylvan traits like pointy ears. They resemble, kind of their ancestral heritage that way. The Kendra generally have their hair in like a top knot, it's a source of pride for them. They're descended from ancient gnomes of Krynn, from the power of the Grey Gem. It's a powerful source of divine, chaotic, wild magic at Gartha's Tower. Oh, A-Ball. Oh, you don't know him personally? You met him? Yeah, Cap is really cool. Hey, thank you for coming. I thought you knew him personally. Otherwise, I wouldn't have told you to trash talk him. My bad. Mom, thank you, Mom. I'll talk to you later, I promise. Yeah. A-Ball, it's good to meet you, sir. Or ma'am. Didn't want to assume. Sorry about that. Side note, I have yet to play Elden Ring, and from what I hear, I don't want to because I'm going to get mad addicted. I'm not going to do that. So Kendra were created by Tracy Hickman and Margaret Weiss, specifically for Dragonlance. Their origin is explained as they used to be gnomes of Krynn, which learned of the Grey Gem and asked for Gargoth to turn the stone back over to them. They were refused, and the gnomes made plans to launch a full attack on the Tower of Garthath. to capture the Grey Gem. The gnomes set up a siege tower and eventually breached a wall, but as they were going to capture the Grey Gem, a bright gray light shone upon the gnomes, changing them. Those gnomes that were curious about the gem became the Kender, and those that wanted to possess the Grey Gem for money and greed became the dwarves. The Grey Gem then just fucked off. Just fucked off. I bet you didn't know you were getting a Kender lesson today, huh? Sorry, Lunga, correct me if I'm wrong about any of this stuff. Despite their small stature, Kender love to be the center of attention. Unless actively sneaking, they are oftentimes boisterous and loud. They move loudly, they speak loudly, at length, trust me, about whatever strikes their fancy. Standing about 3 feet tall with very childlike features, other than having, maybe facial features that would say they're older than their size indicates, the Kender are anything but intimidating. They're also inclined to be thin, weighing about 30 or 40 pounds. So we're talking a creature that's pretty small here. The skin ranges from tan to pale with this ruddy cast, and their hair is usually brown or sandy brown and straight. They tend to have brown or hazel eyes, though blue eyes occasionally appear. Kenderman rarely go facial hair. They're like my brother-in-law. It's just patchy spots. Just can't grow it. I don't know. It's American Indian in them. The blue eyes appear... Oh, I already read it. They like to wear simple, comfortable clothes, favoring bright colors and lots of pockets. Kender constantly pick things up and put them in their pockets, pouches, and bags, often immediately forgetting that they have done so. Kender are curious, cheerful people, often so much that their companions can find their endless jokes, stories, and tall tales a bit off-putting. They're the consummate dad joke tellers. You know how much the guy that tells all the dad jokes gets on your nerves? That's the Kender. That's the Kender. Although the jokes are probably a lot more funny. Let's see. They cherish the bonds of family and friendship, as well as the comforts of hearth and home. However, they also love the pursuit of adventure. It's not due to a desire to acquire things. They will acquire things wherever they go, but they don't own much. They acquire them just by taking them from other people. I mean, they're not kleptos. Rather, the Kender just like to be entertained, amused, and engaged. It is said that the Kender fear nothing but boredom, and woe be to the adventuring party who fails to keep the Kender among the amused. Side note, I believe my youngest child is a Kender, because he fears being bored too. The kid can't be bored. He's like a Kender in my kid's clothing. Sorry. Let's see. Where's that? As mentioned, the Kender tend to be completely without fear, with an overwhelming curiosity overriding a natural instinct to be afraid, sometimes with detrimental results. And in the source material, this included magically induced fear from dragons or evil creatures of note. So basically, they could not at all in any way be placed under the afraid condition. They just weren't afraid. You could have a dragon roaring in their face, fangs dripping, covered with the blood of like its family members, and the dude would still not be afraid. Slightly concerned, but not afraid. So yeah, I lost my place here. So anyway, there is one little caveat to that. Following the destruction of Kindermoor, where Kender came from, many Kender had become affected with a disease that causes them to lose the confidence that they once had and allowed them to feel. These Kenders are referred to as afflicted, Kender. The dreaded Kender taunt is a remarkable ability to get under someone's skin with insults. Is my mom gone? Is mom here? Never mind. I was going to tell a bad joke. Someone's skin with insults, which is like vicious mockery. Enraging the target to a point where anger makes them usually want to target the Kender specifically and sometimes exclusively. So that could be like really helpful in a fight where you engage in the Kender taunt, and then it draws a whole bunch of people's attention to the little Kender, and then your party can just attack them from all different kinds of directions. But that's just mechanically speaking. The Kender usually carry a unique weapon. The seemingly useless Hopak. It's the invention of the Kinder, but it's also a means of self-defense. It's a staff, this sling-looking thing, barely taller than the creators, but it offers a wide variety of functions. It's topped with a sling on one end and a sharp spike on the other. So think you got sling up here, spike down here, sling spike, sling spike. Very martial arts esque. So the staff is topped with a sling on one end and a sharp spike on the other, and when it's spun in a special manner, it creates a high-pitched noise. Like, think Vuvuzela. They'd be great. They would be excellent at a World Cup match. F you, ref. Anyway, any race may learn to wield and make the Hopak, but only the nimble fingers of the Kender can produce the Hopak scream. Merchants may also be wary of wielders of the Hopak due to its reputation of ownership by the infamous Kender. Due to the oddity of the Hopak's design, it's known to be used as a sling, a short staff, and a spear depending on the situation. The original Swiss Army knife, so to speak. But let's be perfectly clear once again, they are not thieves. They are handlers. Kenders do not generally believe in the concept of personal property. Again, just like my son. Apart from a few family heirlooms or personal items, which they guard jealously, the Kinder also believe that stealing from someone is one of the worst things that you can do. And so few possessions actually matter. However, the Kinder do believe that handling is not only acceptable, it is to be expected. Other races would describe Kender handling as the philosophy that any item not being actively held onto or interacted with by a person can be borrowed and returned, if the Kinder remembers to do so. But they rarely do. And if they forget, it's no big deal. The Kinder will almost always return an item they've handled if they ask for it. So basically, what you're looking at here is a guy like, well, you weren't holding on to that cheeseburger, so I borrowed it from you, and I'm gonna use it. But if you ask for it back, I'm gonna give it back to you. But I may have forgot that I ever took it, and I probably left it in the other omelet. Yeah, Calista says possession is 9/10 of the law. Yes, that is true. A-Ball says, I'm going to try to be here as much as possible. That's great, A-Ball. It's really nice to meet you. Thanks for joining. Let's see. Joining us. Yeah. Let's see. I lost my spot. Once again, if the Kender's player is stealing from another player's party member, they're not playing the type of character's racial traits correctly and using it as an excuse for bad behavior. So this is sort of like what I wanted to get into, where yes, the Kender take things, and yes, the Kender forget that they've taken things. But if as a player, you're just playing a Kender so that you can take stuff from your party members, that's not doing it right. That's not how you're supposed to play it. There's a fine line between playing the Kender as this forgetful person with no sense of personal property or no sense of possession, than just playing the Kender to have an excuse to be a dick and take things from all your players. I'm sorry, are the kids watching? 847? Fuck them. And being a dick and take things from your other players. That's not okay. What is okay, well, we'll talk about some ways that you can actually effectively play a Kender and still get along with your party. Kender do not steal from party members, and it's the quickest way to stop the train in its tracks before it becomes a runaway train and wrecks. The quickest way to stop that is to explain to all the party members that every single one of their personal belongings are important family heirlooms. And this is the concept that the Kender can and would grasp. So basically, as your party members tell the Kender, all of my possessions are important family heirlooms, and then they would absolutely not take it from them. So it mitigates all that. But if you got to explain that to your buddy Dave, who's sitting there with you, and you got to go that hard on him, where you're like, stop being a dick. Don't let him play a Kender. No, you hit him over the head with a pork chop and tell him, just go play a rogue. Or tiefling, this warlock or something. Go play somebody with like mommy issues. Don't play a kleptomaniac. You're just being a dick. And then you go make him go get pizza and you play without him. Unless the player is being selfish and evil, in that case, they deserve to have their character face the consequences of their actions, most likely with offering the Kender's life being ended with extreme prejudice because they are that guy. That's just what I said. And they're going to disrupt the game no matter what type of character and race they were playing. That's what my character would do. Chaotic, stupid, all those things. Insert whatever you want to say here. Oh, the computer just did something weird. Are we still live? Yeah, we are. Okay, great. Kender also tend to be masters of thieves' tools. A common Kender saying is, a lock insults the purpose of a door. Oh my god, just like my son. A Kender happily break into any home, tomb, or chest or locked item location, reasoning that some cruel person must have put the lock there to make life harder than it needed to be. Yeah, try going to the bathroom in the house with him around. Also, not a completely one-dimensional type of character, and they can certainly learn eventually, hopefully, to respect other people's property, perhaps getting threatened with physical violence or occasionally getting bopped on the head without it actually hurting. Maybe a reminder for them to return things. They're a type of character that the Dungeon Master should be 99% in control of the things that they subconsciously sleight of hand and have ending up in their pouches. So that's a very good point. So the way that it was written, rules was written back in the day, the Kender themselves as players weren't even responsible for the Kender taking stuff. A lot of people that I've heard of, what they would actually do is they would hand the player a piece of paper at the beginning of the session with a list of things that they had just for that session. And after the session, that list would be gone. So mechanically, it would be as if, like, hey, your character went around and subconsciously picked up these things wherever they were at. That's what they picked up. That's what you have this session. And once the session is over, that paper's gone. And mechanically, it's your Kender player leaving those possessions somewhere. So that's even like, it's taken out of the player's hands. So that way the player doesn't act just like a kleptomaniac at the table. It's a very good way of doing it. With the Dungeon Master actually controlling the aspects of the game, it can be used to further plot points for comic relief or to enrich the setting with unique type of character race with a subconsciously added compulsion personality trait, adding to their flair and flavor of the game. The only way to truly have a decent Kender character is a player to willingly give up some of your player's agency to the Dungeon Master on a regular basis, or having enough trust with the player and your Dungeon Master not to abuse the archetypes. Kender handling, which is not mentioned anywhere in our Unearthed Arcana article, has been a difficult concept for role players. Many role players have a badly role-played Kender because of this concept. So they've changed, and I don't know how it's going to be when they actually come out, but with the Unearthed Arcana, they've really kind of done what they've done with a lot of things in 5th edition, which is adjusted them to fit with the new sense of what's normal. I'm really playing the middling game here, because they have completely taken out anything about them being kleptomaniacs or taking things. Then they've inserted something called Kender Ace, which is a passive ability that role players don't need to be disruptive in game in order to feel like they're playing characters correctly. Kender Ace mechanically works just fine, and what it does is the Kender have a bag, and they can, so many times a game, they can reach into this bag and randomly pull out an item. And that item, after an hour in-game, magically disappears. So they've taken what is a racial trait and turned it into a magical mechanic. So now the Kender are not randomly going around taking things from people and having them. They have a bag where things magically appear out of, and then they just magically disappear. Now, I mean, that's fine, but if you don't understand why that's that even exists, then the Kender are just a halfling with a magic bag, and it takes a good bit of the flavor out of the character if its whole, what used to be a racial trait of a lack of personal property has now become just a magic bag with an item that disappears. So you gain a little bit, you lose a little bit. I would have been perfectly fine with mechanically. They just said, you have roll in this random table. This is what you have for this session, and at the end of the session, you have managed to misplace it. But everything's got to be magically. So let's see here. A Kendra character can be a lot of fun and add a lot of flavor to the campaign, Dungeons and Dragons, when it doesn't completely interfere with group cohesion and derailing the story. Let's see. The best Kendra roleplay is when 99% of their infuriating handling traits, sleight of hand, are taking care of the Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master to further plot points and add comic relief, or completely resolved by them surprisingly telling the rest of the party what they've accidentally found. All this looks like it's probably going to be irrelevant. Wizards of the Coast looks like they're going to completely neuter all the original flavoring, all the original flavor of borrowing or handling, and replace it with magical ability to simply summon magical item forth. So that's kind of what we said, and that's how he ends the article. So that's the Kendra. There's my little Kendra here. Say hi, Marcus. Say hi to everybody, Marcus.
Hi.
That's Marcus, my little Kendra. Marcus is excited. Marcus actually plays D&D. So anyway, all right, guys. That's kind of everything I wanted to go through tonight. Again, we've got a lot of big things on the horizon. Thank you, buddy. If there's, I'm gonna keep it open for Q&A for a couple minutes. Does anybody have any questions or comments or concerns? Any questions about the live stream coming up, the interview with Ross and Thurber? Anybody want to make a phone call to call in? I have the link for the Zoom link at the top of the chat. No, you can't have that, but it's dirty water. I've got the Zoom link open at the top of the chat if anybody wants to call in. If not, we'll just go for for 5 more minutes, a couple more minutes, make it a nice round hour. Anything you guys want to see, anything you want to ask, feel free to ask. Is anybody on Facebook? Let me know how that worked on Facebook. I'm going to shut some things down here. Ooh, excuse me. Cuteness alert. Yeah. Oh, he's absolutely adorable. Little shithead, but he's absolutely adorable. No, he's what? I didn't say anything.
I think that's what you said.
I didn't say that. Yeah. So the video on how many of you out there watched the video on the Revelations of the Prince of Twilight? Did anybody see that? I'm gonna check that out real quick. See what we're up to with that. As I go quickly to we'll take a look at that. Excuse me for 1 second. Let's see. What's my channel name? Polyhuge of Paradise. That's my name. Okay. Let's go check here. 38 subscribers. Okay, another sub. So that's up to 138 views now. So good job, guys. All right, so I guess that's about it, guys. Thank you. Happy Friday. If anybody wants to know more about the live stream, contact me. You can find me through Discord. The Discord link is in the description. Let's see. Discord link is in the description. I'm gonna head on out of here, guys. Thank you so much. Look for more from me this week. Look for the video for. Just pacing back and forth. Look for the video on the Ghost Cat to be out before Monday. Wish me luck on Wednesday, and look for more information about the 2022 charity event live stream. I appreciate every single one of you. I want to say thank you to my mom for stopping by. Thank you for Dritz, one of my oldest and bestest friends, Star Wars Santa, Callisto, thank you again so much. My wife, thank you so much, Binky. Yeah, that is your mom, yes. Thank you for my own little Kendra, Marcus. Thank you, Trinity, for stopping by. And And let's see. And A-Ball, new around here. Good to see you, A-Ball. Hopefully I wasn't too tremendously boring and you want to come back. Normally I stream on Thursdays, but tonight was a special occasion. So thank you guys all for showing up. This is a wonderful time to be alive, and in the game of life, may you always roll with advantage, and I will catch you guys in the next video.